Friday, August 10th, 2018, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So Europe is kind of melting down, especially the currencies, some of the emerging market currencies. I would say the Turkish Lira, it's really spiking low, and the dollar is like surging ahead. Dollar index is breaking some key technical levels. Dollar's looking good. Gold has traded down to the low we saw last week around 1205, but it's actually holding up well and is not making new lows, and it's doing well against the European currencies. So what's going on? Well, it's difficult to say, but technically the dollar's looking very good, and the euro and the pound are not looking good at all. Why is this happening now? Well, it could be because of an upcoming crisis. Usually when there is a financial crisis, the dollar moves up quite well in the beginning, and it's already been moving. Why a crisis now? Well, I've been reading stuff about the geopolitics. I've been saying that I'm a bit confused of what's happening, like President Trump putting sanctions because of the Skripal case, which we know is a little bit tenuous, that this claim by the UK government, but now Trump has said, oh, we're going to impose sanctions. And that's even after meeting with President Trump. I've also seen an interesting article, which I'll talk about later, about LNG, liquefied natural gas. And what's that got to do with anything? Well, you'll see before I go over where we are this morning. So it's 9 a.m. London. Right now, spot gold is down about 3 at 1209. It has been as low as 1205.50 and as high as 1214. So we're down 0.25%. Silver is underperforming a bit. It's down 10 at 1533. Am I concerned about precious metals? Not at all. It's safety. Believe me, the physical metals are safe in times of crisis. Their price might get hurt a little bit, but we saw what happened in 08. They dumped, and then all of a sudden they just rebounded really quickly. So I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know if we've bottomed. But I wouldn't be concerned. The Dow right now is down 104. I know it's not much, but it's down nevertheless. It's down 0.4%, 25,391. S&P is down 0.5% as well, or 0.45. 2839, down 12.75. Nasdaq is down also 0.5%, or 35 at 74.27. So stock markets lower. Let's have a look at Europe. Well, we've got the DAX down 1.2%, the FTSE down 2/3%, the CAC in France down 1%, the Italian index down 1.2%. Let's have a look at some of the emerging markets. Let's see if we can get, let's see, can't find Turkey here, but anyways, I'm sure it's down quite a bit. Anyway, so that's what's happening in terms of the precious metals stock market. Currencies. So the pound is continuing to drop lower. We've even dropped below a support I had at 27.77. It's been as low as 27.30. So it's down right now 0.5% at 127.68. It's rebounded off the lows. It's down 55 pips. The euro is down down over 0.5% at 114.62, down 64 pips. I will have a look at the euro chart in a minute and show you, and some other charts to show you how things are. Japanese yen, the dollar is down against the yen, actually 0.33%. So that's probably maybe what's helping gold a little bit. It's at 110.74. What about the dollar yuan? Well, that's the dollar's up 0.25% against the yuan. Chinese currency 686. But have a look at the Turkish lira. So this is the dollar. You know how many lira the dollar buys. Look how it spiked today. That's a massive move. The dollar has been rising quite a bit against the lira in the last few years, but today's move is just like it's not good. So what are the headlines we're seeing about Turkey? Well, here we go. Turkey fails to break impasse on U.S. pastor held in Turkey. Turkey's relationship with the West is deteriorating fast. Talks to ease U.S.-Turkey rift continue. U.S. sanctions aren't the only thing hurting Turkey's economy. U.S.-Turkish relation hit now new low over sanctions, detained pastor. So, and U.S. set to prepare a target list of Turkey economic sanctions. So, yeah, these things are all not great. And what's it got to do like with Europe and Russia? Well, some people are, I've said that I'm confused with what's happening geopolitically about Trump imposing sanctions on Russia for the Skripal case. Now all the Turkey thing going on. And I remember as well President Trump talking at the press conference with Putin at Helsinki about LNG, that the U.S. could sell LNG to Europe because he's complaining that Germany is buying too much gas, natural gas from the Russians. And then the other day I got a notification, an article about how Goldman Sachs actually is looking to buy LNG. And the way they buy LNG, they're looking to buy, is to buy like a shipment of LNG from the United States to anywhere else in the world. And they're exploring the possibility of doing that. And then what's that got to do with Turkey though as well? Well, because Turkey is the gateway. It's where the gas could come from the Middle East through pipelines to Europe. But if Turkey is like in trouble and Turkey is sanctioned by the U.S., the economy, relations deteriorate. Is there going to be much gas going through Turkey? Maybe not. And also Russia. If the U.S. continues to crack down on Russia with sanctions, will the Americans push the Europeans to put sanctions on Russia? Which sounds like a bit strange, but you never know. And then you put two and two together and you look, why is Goldman Sachs looking at LNG now? So what is LNG? Well, it's liquefied natural gas. It's the way to ship natural gas over long distances where there are no pipelines. The U.S. is the biggest producer of natural gas in the world, along with Russia. Very close. But the U.S. is too far away, is really far away to have a pipeline with Europe. So you have to liquefy the gas, natural gas, to ship it across the ocean. And then when it gets to the location, you gasify it again, so to speak. So that's how you do it. And it makes sense. It makes sense. But I don't know. I could be looking too much into things, but that could hurt Europe a lot, because Europe and Germany especially depend a great deal on cheap Russian natural gas for their energy needs. The UK, for example, depends on natural gas, but not so much from Russia, even though some of its gas comes indirectly from Russia. So with the winter coming, it's not great, but that's what I think might be happening. And Bloomberg also reports, says European stocks drop as BBVA, which is a Spanish bank, and Unicredit, which is an Italian bank, plunge on Turkey fears. So these European banks could be exposed to Turkey. And we know European banks aren't in great shape, not only Europeans, but Americans as well, British banks. And it says European equities slid at the open as the continued sell-off in the Turkish Lira spurred concerns about an economic crisis that could impact European banks. The Stocks Europe 600 index retreated 0.6%, with miners and banks taking the biggest hit. Banco Bilbao Vizcaya, Argentaria, BBVA, Deutsche Bank, and UniCredit were among the heaviest decliners, each falling more than 3%. Banks in Spain, France, Italy, with the biggest claims in Turkey, have an exposure of about 135 billion euros, according to Berenberg. Overall, Eurozone lenders' liability in the country are too small to cause a significant Eurozone crisis, according to the broker. Well, they might be small, but it could be the first domino. I don't agree with Berenberg there completely. They could be right, though. You never know. It goes on to say, Carsten Hesse, the European economist at Berenberg, he says the fallout from Turkey could cause any credit crunch in any part of the Eurozone. That the fallout from Turkey could cause any credit crunch in any part of the Eurozone seems highly unlikely. Well, we know that Ben Bernanke said that kind of comment in 2007. He said he didn't think the subprime crisis would spill over into the major economy. He was dead wrong. So will Mr. Hesse be dead wrong? I don't know. So things are starting to get a little more interesting here. I'm not saying things are imploding. The Dow is only down 100 points, which is nothing these days, with it above 25,000. But I think we need to keep an eye on the currencies. The dollar is looking very strong right now. Just look at the charts here. This is the chart of the pound. I've been talking about the pound for the last month or so, last few weeks. Haven't really been falling too much the euro because the euro is held. But look at this head and shoulder in the euro, in the euro. That, it's a bearish formation, and we've just broken the neckline today. So that's not looking good. And look at the dollar index trading above 96. So what's going to happen to gold and silver? They might have a tough time against the dollar a little bit, but they're still holding really well against my local currency. Am I saying, oh, I'm okay, too bad about you? No, I'm just saying that it just shows that the dollar is still the reserve currency for now, and when crises start like that, the other currencies suffer more. So, for example, gold is almost up to 950 now. It's at 947 in sterling. And it started the week around 933. So gold is holding up for now. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Steemit, DTube, and on Twitter. And if you like to contribute to the channel, to donate to the channel, there's some links below in the description. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.